In the last video, we looked at packages in R, and we continue with packages here. In this particular case, we're going to look at a special type of package, which is known as a contributed package. A contributed package is typically put into R by one of the many users of R that are worldwide, and they have a particular functionality. For example, one might be particularly good in geosciences, maybe another is very good at time series analysis, etc. We're going to look at two contributed packages here. And the way you get a contributed package in is, first of all, if that package has already been loaded in before, like SimEd, that's a simulation education package, all you have to do is click a little check mark there. When you click that check mark, it does the library command and pulls it in. Now, we're going to look in a minute at one that hasn't been pulled in before, and that's got a slightly different procedure. Now that the package is in, we can run one of the commands from that package, and I'm going to run the iBinom command. So this has to do with the binomial distribution. The first argument is a random number, uniformly distributed between 0 and 1. I'm just going to pick 0.8 for illustration. The second parameter is the size, and let's go with n equals 10. And let's say the binomial probability is 0.3. And when you do that, that just gives you a little classroom illustration here of if you have a uniform 0, 1 of 0.8, and this step function here is the cumulative distribution function for a binomial with n equals 10 and p equals 0.3, that uniform will generate you a random variate of 4 in this particular case. Now you can modify that a little bit if instead of putting in just a single value, you could put in a string of them. So let's pick off just maybe 5 uniform 0, 1s. And in this case now you will have 5 different uniform 0, 1s along this axis, and they are generating 5 random variates down here by inversion. You can see we just so happen to get a lot of 3s here. You can see that's a little bit of a lesson there on sampling variability. And instead, if you go up to, say, let's go with 100 uniform 0, 1s, now here are the 100 uniform 0, 1s, and here are the 100 random variates that are generated, and you can kind of see an upside down histogram here of the values that are being generated. So that is one thing that is in this package, which is named SimEd. And here is another thing. You could also go out and run a routine called SSQ. And you can see here are the arguments for SSQ. And let's just put in max arrivals equals 1,000. And when you run that, don't know if we can fit all this in here. Let me just scroll up a little bit. When you run that command, you can see it will tell you for this single server queue, with the default inter-arrival distribution being exponential and the default service distribution also being exponential, you got 1,000 customer arrivals. The simulation ended at a time 1,000.6, 1,003.6. Here is the average wait time for the customers. Here is the average sojourn time, and sojourn time is the wait time plus the service time. On average, there were 20 customers in the system at a time, and there were an average of 19 customers in the queue at a time, and that server was very busy 96.27% of the time. In addition, if you wanted to go and run this for a longer period of time, let's say you want to run it for 100,000 customers, now it's going to take a little while. So Barry Lawson from the University of Richmond, who put this software together, I helped a little bit, but he did most of the things like this progress bar, and this progress bar tells you how close you are to getting things done. And here you come back, there were 100,000 arrivals, 100,000 departures. Here's the end of the simulation. Average weight is about 8, average sojourn is about 9, average number in the system, average number in the queue, and this time our utilization is a little bit lower. This time it's at about 90%. So you can do a bunch of simulations in this software involving queuing, but that is the first package we're going to look at. Now there is a second package, and the way you install this package, I've never done this on this machine yet, is you use the command install.packages, and the name of this package needs to go in double quotes is conf, because this package will work on confidence regions. Now at this point it has been installed, and it didn't ask us for a mirror. If you're doing this in raw R, it will ask you for a mirror. The next command we have to do is we have to do the library command, this time without the quotes, and this will put it into the current version of R. Now, like anything else, you can do a help on this. There is a routine in conf called crplot, and over here you will see how crplot is called. There are a whole bunch of arguments, but what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to call it with some very, very simple arguments, and we're going to go crplot. The first thing it's looking for is it's looking for a data set. So I'll go ahead and make up a data set. Let's say we've got 2, 9, 16, 3, 6, 8, 3, 5, 9. That's enough of a data set. Looks fine. Put some spaces back in here after the commas. Perfect. Okay, so there's a data set, and in addition it is looking for an alpha, and so I'll put in an alpha of 0.05, and that'll give me a 95% confidence region. And at this point we have to put in a distribution. So these are the required arguments. You can see everything else down here has a default. So let's see what our options are on the distributions. We can either put in a Weibull or we can put in an inverse Gaussian. Let's go with, in this case, a Weibull distribution. And when we hit return, you can see that this has generated a confidence region about the maximum likelihood estimator for that particular data set. So the maximum likelihood estimator occurs at a shape parameter for the Weibull of 1.76 and a scale parameter of 0.13059. And this right here is a 95% confidence region, and the points that you see here are being connected by lines. So the algorithm here, which was designed by Chris Weld from the College of William & Mary, when there is more curvature, it's going to put more points in place, and when there is less curvature, you're going to have less points in place. Now, if you do another help here on crplot, you can do things, for example, like get rid of those points. You can, you see it says PTS displays the confidence interval boundary identified if it's true, and PTS, you can see from up here, has a default of being true. So if we change that to false, we can get rid of those points. And now when it does the plot, you get a very clean looking 95% confidence region. It's shaped about like a guitar pick. And here again is the MLE. And this gives you some idea of the precision of that MLE. And in this particular case, one thing that's important is here is the MLE 1.76 for the shape parameter. And notice that its confidence interval goes from 0.83 to 3.02. And that range includes 1, which says we cannot exclude the exponential distribution, which is a special case of the Weibull distribution at the shape parameter being equal to 1. So things like that can be done. Again, there are different packages other than the ones that have been considered here that are given in the book.